Good morning, afternoon, evening, everyone. Welcome to the stream. Welcome, blah, blah, blah. Hope everyone's doing well on this morning for me, wise, but for afternoon or evening, depending on where you are in the world. We're just starting your drive to my school from dropping off my mom like usual. And just to warn you guys ahead of time that watches this before my usual evening stream, I won't be doing a talk stream after school because of the fact that I had to make sure that I'm ready for my college students. So I won't be doing that for that reason. So just want to give you guys a heads up on that. Just in case you happen to hear me say this now. So right now I'm just gonna be eating breakfast as we're just chatting, talking, and stuff like that as I'm on my way going to work. So I hope everyone's doing well and things are going well for everyone, to say the least. And like I said, I'm just eating, so, but if you guys are here and want to chat, go ahead. I just want to make sure that I get this in because I don't want to repeat of yesterday. I waited and was very tired because of it. But welcome in, everyone. As we're heading to my workplace, feel free to ask me random questions as you guys are thinking of them. Hello, Florida Zell or Florida Z. Apologies if I said it wrong. How are you doing? Hope you're doing good. Hope everyone's doing well. We're just hanging out. Gonna be talking about random stuff once I'm done eating my biscuit. But feel free to chat about random stuff. Worst case scenario, I tell you that we're not gonna talk about it, or look at you, it's like, what's that about? Because we're all an expert of something, even if it doesn't feel like it sometimes. Because I know different things that some people call me an expert on, even though I know I have only so much experience. Like I know a little bit of coding, but some people call me expert because I've seen it. Even if I haven't actually produced code on a regular basis, like some people I know, my friend group that can, but if they know what you need a program, they can immediately give it to you in 30 minutes. But some of us, takes longer because we don't know all the code language yet. It's one of those interesting things to say the least. Right now, for me, wise, I'm just trying to finish my breakfast so I can make sure I'm fully awake for you guys. Because yesterday's morning stream, I felt like I was barely talking to you guys because of how tired, hungry, and me not had to. I had to worry about traffic a lot, so. And welcome in, everyone. For those of you that haven't met me, I'm Rhypi. I do a lot of variety games, and when I'm not playing games, I do these vertical streams to get know everyone. Because I know some people find me first through the live stream where it looks like a short. Some of us find me through my game. It just depends on where you find me, what games interest you and stuff like that. Some of us have other things that we've found me through, whether it's because someone recommended me or that you've seen me in someone's chat and you're like, like, check you out. That there's a lot of different things that can affect how you meet someone in some ways. Just like I said, I'm constantly eating my breakfast right now, so that's why I'm not talking as much yet as I usually try to, but a lot of the things I'm just debating about how I want to do things and such. I hope all is well with everyone. Alright, finish the last bite. Yeah, I'm sure some of you guys can relate that for me, wise, sometimes it's going to be the case that you only eat one breakfast item. Other times, for a few of us, that we may need 2 or 3 or 4 to help us feel satisfied if we won't get hungry during the day. Hey Zeke, how are you doing? Welcome in. How's things going for you, Zeke? What are you practicing for? About what, Moon? I have no clue what you're talking about. It's hard to gauge what you're saying when you seem like you're in halfway through a conversation, like if you was talking to another streamer. So it's hard for me to pick up what you're saying when you're not explaining it. help yourself. And some people, remember, don't have luxury of buying toilet paper, so for some of them it's the case of they only use one sheet because that's all they got, especially if they're trying to make the roll last. Because for us it may be cheap, but for some other people just having one roll is $10 for some people. Because remember, for me, wise, I'm talking about sheet is every square. But some people, they just see that they need to use a whole entire roll because especially if they're having repeat visits on the same day, like you're saying. So that's why I know for different people, they have different situations. We don't know what other people are dealing with. Because some people are more sick than we are, and why they use more. Some people just in a habit of what they've learned to do. Exactly. Because some of us were used to the 2-ply or 4-ply now, but some people still only can get the 1-ply. Because how expensive it is for some people. So if at a later point, make sure you look that up. Makes sense, Moonroof. I just know for me, I sometimes only can afford a 2-ply because for me, it's not always in the budget for me to think about the bigger ones. But there's been times for me, because of me only working part-time jobs, that I only can pay for a single one sometimes. So that's why, like I said, it just depends on what we all need and what we're able to do. As for me, it's just one of those cases that why I say it truly depends on what each person has available to them. Because even once my teacher salary gets back in, no guarantees I'm going to be able to pay for things the same way as I did 5 years ago, or 3 years ago even. Because things have changed around the world and stuff like that. Sad but true. Yeah, exactly. That's why it still feels expensive no matter which one we get. But some people that you may find out that they're only able to buy the 4-pack, and because in some countries that 4-pack for us is $5. For other people, that same pack is $50 in their country. So it's one of those cases. And some people only can do it where they don't have any kind of paper towels or toilet paper that they have to use running water to clean up. So it's just one of those cases that we don't know truly what some people have to experience until we have to experience it ourselves sometimes. very easy to come by too, for some. But and also keep in mind for the fly count why for some people they know as 1, 2, or 4 is just how they're stacked together too. Because usually if it's 4 ply, it's harder for them to separate than the 2 ply. And the 1 ply, because it's just one sheet, like you said, it's very easy to unwind it, and especially if you have like a little brother or sister that doesn't realize the importance of toilet paper, they just are trying to unroll it, that sometimes you look after they're done in the restroom and you're just like, why is all of this on the floor? There's some people that worry about rolling it back up so it doesn't look bad. Some people throw it away because it touched the ground. Well, indeed, but fortunate thing is, even if some of us are knowledgeable about it, that some people don't see that because they just see the fact that they have to pay so much for their stuff that they don't think about how cost effective it would be in the future. And even if we say go by unit price, not everyone's able to calculate the unit price of things. So it's one of those interesting conversations to have, and why, for me, is when I'm talking about different math problems in my classroom, that sometimes we bring in real life applications, because we need to see why some things are important if you haven't thought about it. That way, it doesn't have to be a teacher that's explaining it to some, that if they hear it sooner, they won't feel as embarrassed in some of our cases. So, but yeah. But that's why we all try to help out for teachers wise, but those of us aren't teachers, sometimes we might try to help out in different ways, because we're just trying to figure out what knowledge that you know that someone else doesn't know. So it just depends on how things go. Thank you for whoever is doing the hearts on the side with the reactions. We're just chilling out, hanging out, talking about random stuff. And if right now we're talking about toilet paper / tissue paper, depending on what part of the world you're at. Feel free to talk about random stuff, worst case scenario. I say that we're skipping it just because I don't know much about it, and I don't want it to be that I imply that I'm an expert in some things where we're just trying to explain different things. I want us to be able to explain it. Because sometimes we like being able to justify our answer and explain our answer, stuff like that. And for me, it's wise. I want to encourage that when you're trying to defend your case and defend why you're saying it and stuff like that, because sometimes we're so used to being shot down in a sense of when we're trying to explain our side of this thing, that sometimes, especially in a classroom setting, you're like, you hear the response, wait to talk about that, and then they forget to ask you more questions about it. And sometimes it's a much ruder tone that sometimes is used instead of how I said it too. So it's like, I'm sure a lot of you guys have had that kind of teacher, or I know some of you guys have talked to me about it in the past. It's like, y'all can tell that I have a teacher that cares and not a teacher that's just doing it for the paycheck, to say the least. With that in mind, it's just one of those cases that I just like to get to know it, who you guys are. So if I see you guys again, it's like, oh, I remember our conversation last time. It might take me a second if it was one of those days I was super tired, like it was yesterday. If I met any of you guys yesterday in the morning, in my time morning, I should say, that stream I just felt like was not my best, but sometimes that's why we have those streams that felt worse, and you guys can look at it later being like, yeah, that was one of your worst ones. Be watching something, you're just like, oh, you're not talking about this more. You had a great turnout when you talked about this. That's, for me, it's wise. I know that some people say once you find something that clicks, in a sense, that you keep making content about it, but at the same time, for me, wise, I know that if I do that it will feel boring for me of just doing the same thing or talking about the same thing over and over again. Why sometimes I make sure that, especially on these streams, that I see what you guys are talking about, we discuss it, and like I said, worst case scenario, I'm not quite sure what you're referring to, then we'll see how things go. Of talking about random stuff and things like that. At the end of the day, I'm just trying to figure out what things I want to talk about, especially at the moment when I have those moments that I see that no one's watching. But I know those of you that are watching this after the fact might be watching this point instead of it being just silence or crickets being chirping and stuff like that.